Copeland family lives at Ballinger Homes. The site is 10 years old. Would-be home buyers have tried to purchase these places, only to be told these townhouses are low-income homes. It is no accident these places look this way.
This is from a 1970s film about the King County Housing Authority. KCHA has a long and distinguished history and a deeply ingrained commitment to serve the public and evolve to respond to changing needs.
We try to establish a very positive community for them, a community that they can be proud of.
KCHA's commitment to high-quality housing and innovative public service continues in the present day. In the 21st century, KCHA serves 50,000 people or 18,000 households through subsidized homes and apartments, workforce rental housing, Section 8 vouchers, resident services programs, and education initiatives. But the story of the King County Housing Authority begins in 1939. In the 1930s, the economy had collapsed. Recovery was slow, and then as now, some people were left behind.
I see 1/3 of a nation ill-housed, ill-clad, ill-nourished.
President Roosevelt addressed the nation in 1937. Later that year, Congress created the United States Housing Authority to federally fund local efforts to improve living conditions. In rural King County, coal miners in Black Diamond were living in substandard shacks. The King County Housing Authority was created on May 22, 1939, to address this and other housing needs. Then, just a few months later, war broke out in Europe when the Nazis invaded Poland. America began to arm itself. Boeing and local shipyards started hiring workers by the thousands to build airplanes and ships. The economy boomed, but the workers, many who had moved here from elsewhere, needed places to live and raise their families. The Puget Sound area was so crowded, comedian Bob Hope even joked about the lack of housing.
But Seattle is a wonderful city. It's really a boom town now with all the defense industries and shipyards here. And boy, is it crowded. I stopped one guy on the street and I said, "How do you get a room here?" He said, "I don't know. I'm the mayor and I live in Tacoma."
But KCHA met the challenge to serve the changing need and went to work. Houses, apartments, and dormitories were quickly built for workers near the Boeing plant and near the shipyards in Kirkland. KCHA's innovative wartime housing had gathering places, recreation programs, and places to shop to serve busy defense workers and their families. After the war ended, shipyard housing in Kirkland was dismantled and the land sold off, but the demand for post-war housing only increased. The economy was on overdrive, and returning GIs were eager to start families and get on with their interrupted lives. But there were parts of King County where others were left behind. So KCHA evolved and grew once again. The Housing Act of 1949 promised that every American deserves a decent home in a suitable living environment. KCHA built more than 120 units at Green River and Terminal Park Homes in Auburn, beginning in the early 1950s.
For man holds in his mortal hands the power to abolish all forms of human poverty.
The 1960s were a time of change and a period of major construction for KCHA. In 1964, the old White Center Heights was remodeled and renamed Park Lake Homes. KCHA became nationally known as an innovator for remaking old wartime housing developments into modern, comfortable places to live. Throughout the 60s and 70s, KCHA met the growing need and developed a series of newly built homes and apartment complexes around King County. Valley Key Homes in Kent had places for people to live, but also had vital community spaces for gatherings and events. From 1969 to 1973, KCHA built 15 developments for a growing population of seniors. But KCHA did much more than just provide the elderly a place to live. They also offered a robust menu of services for seniors and for all residents. And early on, KCHA saw the value in education.
There are many things you can do to provide opportunities for upward mobility. Education is one of the ways.
As the world of public housing has shifted radically in the past few decades, KCHA has embraced the critical role that housing plays in education.
Last year, school districts in King County reported over 5,200 homeless children in their classrooms. 5,200 homeless children, and this is up by 57% over the last 3 years. Homeless kids can't learn. Kids who are sleeping on a relative's couch can't do their homework. Kids who change classrooms every 2 months because their parents don't have stable housing don't get through the curriculum at that grade. They will have the opportunity to stay in the classroom, to go home at night, to work in the after-school programs that we provide, to succeed, to break or prevent multi-generational cycles of poverty in their families. What we do is education policy as much as it is housing policy.
But the core of KCHA's mission remains ensuring that people in need have a place to live. And though funding models have changed and federal dollars have become more scarce, the past few decades have seen acquisition of properties and major upgrades to existing KCHA sites. And KCHA has been a leader in serving people through the Section 8 voucher program. The KCHA Section 8 department has grown from serving 1,500 households in the first year of the program to serving more than 11,000 households today. In the 1980s, federal support for public housing shrank, but a recession meant that the need was only increasing. In those years, KCHA adapted and built small-scale projects like Eastside Terrace. And with innovative funding, including bonds, block grants, and support from King County, KCHA built a mobile home park for low-income seniors. KCHA has continued to serve the growing senior population by building new communities and planning for the future, as this population is projected to double in King County by 2025. During the past nearly 2 decades, the regional economy has boomed and housing prices have skyrocketed, increasing the gap between what someone can earn and what it costs to live here. So KCHA has focused on evolving to serve those populations who the booming economy often leaves behind. Seniors, veterans and their families, youth, the disabled, recent immigrants, and the homeless. When hundreds of units of privately owned Section 8 apartments were threatened, KCHA built a coalition of agencies to purchase the properties and preserve them as affordable housing. In the 21st century, KCHA is there to bridge the gap for those in need and to keep building and maintaining some of the most acclaimed public housing in the United States. But KCHA goes beyond being only a developer and property manager. HUD recognizes KCHA's effectiveness and named KCHA a Moving to Work, or MTW, agency in 2003. MTW gives KCHA waivers from certain HUD regulations. This flexibility allows KCHA to shape its federally funded programs to respond to local conditions, streamline operations, better support the economic self-sufficiency of residents, and launch innovative programs such as rapid rehousing. KCHA also shifted from a centralized property management model to a site-based model, bringing improvements to how residents in KCHA interact and strengthening communities. The community's need for workforce housing is something KCHA recognized early on. Beginning with the Cottonwood Apartments in Kent, KCHA is now responsible for more than 5,000 units of workforce housing. The past decade has also been about reinventing some of KCHA's largest communities and building new and innovative properties around King County. In March of 2002, KCHA completed The Village at Overlake Station in Redmond, with 308 units of housing and a daycare, all located adjacent to a transit center. In 2010, Springwood Apartments in Kent underwent a major reconstruction and reopened as Birch Creek, with 2 community centers operated in partnership with a consortium called Building Better Futures to bring vital programs to residents. KCHA developed a network of 20 community centers operated with nonprofit partners to serve low-income households across King County. KCHA has become an innovator in alternative energy and conservation, building environmentally efficient structures and integrating things like solar panels into new communities such as Birch Creek and Greenbridge. In 2011, Greenbridge was dedicated on the old Park Lake Homes 1 site. Greenbridge has won national honors for its innovative approach to green design and its community vision, providing neighborhood facilities and partnering with community organizations to fill them with programs for youth and families. In 2013, Green River Homes in Auburn underwent a major overhaul and remodel, with new interiors and exteriors and a new playground. Also in 2013, Ceola Gardens was dedicated on the old site of Park Lake Homes 2. This development includes subsidized housing, a senior facility called Joseph House, a Head Start program, a pea patch, public art, and homes available for purchase. Both Ceola Gardens and Greenbridge have played a major part in revitalizing White Center, creating jobs and boosting the local economy. In August 2014, KCHA broke ground on Vantage Point in Renton, a 77-unit affordable apartment complex for seniors and people with disabilities, to meet the growing need of these populations. Vantage Point is a huge milestone as KCHA continues to evolve and grow to serve. It's the first new construction of public housing, not on a redeveloped site, in 25 years. It's unclear exactly what changes and challenges the next 75 years will bring. But one thing is certain. The King County Housing Authority will continue its proud tradition of innovation and evolution in service to those most in need in King County.
This is the 75th anniversary of the King County Housing Authority. You know, you look at them today and you look at their history and you say it was a wow 75 years ago, but it is an awesome wow now. I mean, sometimes you say people are good, sometimes you say people are great, but I can say the King County Housing Authority, oh, it doesn't get sweeter. Happy anniversary.